everybody, it's me, Dr. Fuck from Thrash. It's been a long time since I've done a review for this channel, but I'm back with my friend Holy George, he's from California. In this episode, madness reigns in the Hall of the Mountain King. King, the fourth studio album from Savatage, released in 1987. I got to see them open for Dio, Megadeth, and man, it's really far. You can't see the cover, but
Shove the King.
And if you look really closely, it's actually is signed by Chris Oliva and John Oliva. I don't know if you can see that because it was with a fucking ballpoint pen. This is, to me, their best album. This is the first one that had Paul O'Neill produce it, I believe, or co-write, and he's the one responsible for everything Savatage has done ever since. And I believe he's the guy behind the Can you pronounce that for me?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes, that's selling out Madison Square Garden and everywhere, where Savatage couldn't even sell out a club. So, but it's in the vein. It had kind of like the progression that the previous albums didn't have. But not to slam all the previous albums, they all ruled except for Fight for Rock. I didn't like that one. Except Hide was a good song. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Did you ever see Savatage?
I saw them with you when they were opening up for Nuclear Assault.
It was Testament, Nuclear Assault, and Savatage opening. Testament canceled.
Yep, that is very true.
Savatage came out, and were they before Nuclear Assault?
They were before. They
destroyed Nuclear Assault, and I love Nuclear Assault. But they were so on fire that night. I remember they opened with Dungeons Are Calling, and they proceeded to kick ass. And enough of the jibber jabber. Let's go into the songs. "24 Hours Ago," as you see here, they made a video for it. The type of videos that I really like. It's just a band on stage, kicking ass, no concept, no little troll running around with a big king trying to kill him. I fucking love this song. It's got that very classic rock feel to it.
As it may be, being the opening track, it was a prelude to Madness, which was also, they became much more orchestrated, very much more classical. For those of you who don't know shit about classical music, they took the theme of the Mountain King, the Hall of the Mountain King, from a Norwegian composer.
Wait a second. That's Prelude to Madness you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's not what opens the album.
I use the term loosely. So anyhow, the Norwegian composer Creed, he composed an opera of sorts named the Hall of the Mountain King, and they took the theme and they embedded that concept into the song and the overall feel of the album, like you said. And I'm proud to say that it's a Florida metal band, which happened to have been around the early stages of bands like Nasty Savage, even before Mantas and Massacre and Death, which is a whole different school of thought itself. But they continue progressing on and on and on. I think in terms of the greatness of Savatage, as far as the delivery of power, this album is a basically every track with the exception of one, which is a semi-ballad, which is okay for the most part. So you're gonna make out with a chick, and THRASH, getting head or whatever, great song. Very happy on her.
I'd rather get head to Beyond the
Gates of the Dark.
Yeah, Beyond the Doors of the Dark.
Hey.
When he's going, ah! You push her head all the way down.
Ah! Yeah.
Yeah, you make her, like, especially the song Hall of Mountain King. You grab her head and you go, that part would be awesome.
It'd be like,
anyway, Holy George has described everything about Savatage except for 24 Hours Ago, which was what we're talking about now, and the video's still rolling.
Sets the mood for the album. They really went ahead and said, hey, listen, this is a kick-ass fucking song. We're gonna get you in there, we're gonna grab you by the head, smash it against the wall, and let you figure out what's going on next.
That's a great way of putting it, George. Let's go into the next track. Beyond the Doors of the Dark, in my opinion, probably my favorite track. As of now, I may change my mind, but this is the best track on the album, in my opinion. And there's not a clunker on here.
No, I mean, honestly, it is a delivery is like, you know, getting punched by Mike Tyson repeatedly with these tracks.
So what you're saying is that this song is the equivalent of getting beaten up by Mike Tyson over and over again.
It is one of several punches.
Well said. Next track. Legions of the Night. Johnny Lee Middleton comes up with a bass, a little bass intro, and it goes into just heavy metal magic, traditional heavy metal at its finest.
It is hard for me to dissect this album, honestly. I can't tell you that one song differs from another in terms of the sensibilities.
I totally agree with you. This is an album. This is like an album. Like Legion is just one piece of the puzzle of awesomeness.
Yeah. It would have been like, you know, a lot of bands you could think, and even in later works by Savatage themselves. 1-2 trackers, they were cool, the rest of the album was just a complete different aspect.
Yes.
However, on this one, and I would love to hear there's demo tracks, which hopefully one day it may even release, that, you know, the rawness of it all, and it was just the amplitude, man, the amplitude of it.
Well said. I have to agree with you 100% on that one. So let's go into the next track. Strange Wings, the ballad on the album, though it's a little heavier than your normal ballad, but it does have kind of like a ballad feel. And George, do you happen to know who does the backing vocals on this one? They have a guest star on this album.
Well, your mother's on it.
No, my mom was busy with Black Sabbath.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
They fucked her.
No royalties paid up.
No. Original Black Sabbath fucked her. With Bill Ward.
Yeah.
No scab drummer. No Rage Against the Machine. My mom hates commies. That is the late, great Ray Gillen, who was in Black Sabbath when, what's his name? Oh God, why am I having a brain fart? Glenn Hughes was so fucked up on drugs that he left the tour on 7 Star, and Ray Gillen filled in for him. Then Ray Gillen sang on Eternal Idol. He did the whole album, which I have, but then something happened. I think the producer didn't like him, and they got rid of him. And they brought in Tony Martin, but Tony Martin, note for note, just totally copied everything Ray Gillen did. So I can't say that either version is better. To me, they're equal. Tony Martin, I think, is very underrated.
Right, back to Savatage, man.
No, I'm talking about Ray Gillen, late great Ray Gillen. So he's the one that sang on this, and he later on became the singer of Badlands, and then he died of AIDS. What do you think of Strange Wings?
Don't like it. However, let it be said that the magnificence of the atmosphere in the album is even inclusive to someone as picky as I am in terms of all that kind of stuff. If you like metal ballads, forget about Poison and all that Guns N' Roses white shit. That is a metal ballad. Whether I like it or not has nothing to do with the fact of the quality and everything else that was put in there.
So in other words, what you're saying is that this album is so kick-ass that they put a song in the album that you don't even like so much, but it's so surrounded by kick-assness that you are able to forgive.
I forgave everybody in the band for putting a ballad on the album.
That's commendable. I happen to love the song. He doesn't. I'm right. He's wrong. Next track. The Prelude to Madness.
That is the guy I was talking about earlier. He's a Norwegian composer who originally typed the song up or wrote it or whatever he did back in the 1800s or some shit like
So it's a cover song, basically.
It is, but they took it. I mean, you can understand that they were always, even in the older material, you know, you could sense that classical music influence. Of course, it was converted into a heavy rock metal format.
So Preludes to Madness goes into this song. Hall the Mountain King, and as you can see here, here's the video for it. And classic cheesy storyline with a little, it's a dwarf in the video, and he running around, and he runs in a cave, and there's John Oliva in the cave singing, scares him. He runs this way, and then he runs into a sleeping king of the mountain, the mountain king.
Yeah, basically Mountain King.
Yeah, the mountain king's asleep, and he falls into like a bunch of gold and stuff, and
he's trying to steal the treasure of the king. He's
yeah,
pissing them.
and at the very end of the video, as you see here, he opens the safe, and there's a cassette of Hall the Mountain King. You know, that's the gold that he got. Anyway, it is a great song. I love this song. I'd have to say it's close to my favorite. I still have to say that Beyond the Doors of the Dark is my favorite one, but Hall Mountain King is my close second favorite. Love the song. You love it, George?
I adore it.
Next track. The Price You Pay. This is the only song they never played live. The Price You Pay. Great song. I think it's like, you know, it's more traditional. If you was to name a filler track, which is impossible to name a filler track, I'd say this would be kind of a filler, but it's not to me, man. I mean, I think of it that way because I've never seen him play it live, but I do understand. Well, of course, John Oliva did play it live when he played the whole album back to front, but he did introduce this song live, saying, this is a song I never played live before.
I have no further comments on that track right there.
Well, there you go. Next track. White Witch. And anybody out there that you're like, oh, you want to hear a Savatage song that kicks ass? Listen to this one. I would play a White Witch first. You know, if I was to play a song off Hall of Mountain King, this one is the one that I would say would grab you quickest.
White Witch could have been a song that I could have heard in perhaps Dungeons, because they have the kind of the speed taking.
That is true.
On that track. However, the production values are highly different.
Scale to 1 to 10. What do you give it, George? White Witch.
I'm gonna give it like a 9.9.9.9. It's a great song. It would be a crime to give it anything below.
My review to White Witch goes to 11. This is Last Dawn, which is the late great Chris Oliva, which we didn't really talk about how incredible he was.
Yes.
But this is a little instrumental that he does that I think is, it's beautiful. It's, you know, it's to the point, and again, very classical. And I like the background. You can kind of see, like, you know, like a fog or something. It has that vibe to it where they put that sound effect. It's pretty damn cool. What do you think of Last Dawn?
I think it gives it overall. I mean, it could have done just as great of an impact if it had been, let's say, the first thing you heard during the entire length of the LP.
Next track, final track. Devastation, total devastation.
Very self-reflective.
Oh, this song is a great ending to a fucking monumental album. How this album did not sell 1 million copies shows that people suck.
What is a metal album without death and destruction?
It's kind of like the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse type song. So anyway, that is my review and Holy George's review. And my philosophy is the reason why Hall the Mountain King did not become this huge success that it should have been is because of 2 things. One, it was released in the 80s. And why do I say that's a bad thing? Because metal was big in the 80s, right?
Right.
But this is the most important part. It didn't become big because the singer was a big guy. And that just doesn't fly with the masses of the 80s. And there's never a time where I put on this album and I stop it halfway or skip a
play
track.
all the way through.
Every time I play this album, it's start to finish. Anybody that doesn't own it, you are doing yourself a big disservice. Go out there, steal it, buy it. You know what? Go out there and steal it. I'm urging you to download it. And then after you download it and listen to it, I dare you not go on Amazon and eBay and not buy it, because you're going to want to. It's that fucking good. Buy Hall the Mountain King. And then after you love it, go back and discover dungeons and sirens, and don't listen to him. Power of the Night's awesome.
Boo! One song. The title track is cool.
Oh, it's great. Anyway, see you next time.